All right, today's guest understands that some of the most important stories we carry are the ones nobody else can see. Her own journey through grief, heartbreak, anxiety, trauma, relationships, loss, and healing inspired her to create a place where people can have honest conversations about what's really happening beneath the surface. And for her, those words have another meaning. She's a diver and a dive master with a deep connection to the ocean, a place where she finds peace, clarity, and a sense of being completely herself. Beneath the water exists an entire world most people never see. And she believes people are a lot like that. Behind the smiles, careers, relationships, and the version of ourselves we show the world, there can be an entire story underneath. That realization became Below the Surface, a podcast exploring healing, grief, relationships, mental health, love, loss, personal growth, and what it means to keep going when life gets hard. Her goal isn't to pretend she has all the answers. It's to create honest conversations where people can feel seen, heard, understood, and maybe walk away feeling a little less alone. Because sometimes life's greatest truths are really found below the surface. Please help me in extending a warm Morning Fuel podcast welcome to Divemaster, storyteller, and host of Below the Surface, Tierra Ogle. Hey, Tierra, what's up, girl?
Hi.
Hey, good to see you.
Thank you so much for having me aboard.
Yeah.
This is so amazing. And
Likewise.
I can't even begin to explain how just grateful I am for this opportunity.
Wonderful.
So.
Likewise, because this is a cool opportunity we have. We get to interview each other.
Yeah.
Because you are a podcaster now.
Yeah.
And we've listened to a couple, 3 of your episodes that are out now. Mm-hmm. And each time we've sat down to listen, Sarah and I both keep our mouths shut. We sit back, we listen, and we just go deeper and deeper and deeper into following along. Absolutely. And you're doing it. That's the thing. Like now the challenge is don't quit.
Right. Of course.
Don't quit, because what you have already is beautiful, and it's going to inspire and help people to not feel alone. Because a lot of times we have stories, and the reason why we have stories, I believe, is to be able to help other people to get unlocked,
exactly,
to get freed. If we don't share our story, there are many who are going to stay stuck.
Stagnant, complacent,
absolutely,
all of those words
absolutely.
that we don't want to hear.
How many times have we heard, how many times have we felt, I should say, alone? Alone in our challenges, alone in our difficulty, alone in our trauma, and then we hear a story and it's like, whoa,
I'm not
they
so
experienced
alone.
that too.
You're right.
They experienced that too.
And that's the point.
Yeah, so we love on Morning Fuel, we love to hear origin stories. Kind of like how Peter Parker was transformed into Spider-Man. Right. I mean, at the Bundy house, we were very much, yes, superheroes. They touch a part of us that we're like, we wish we could be. And if we realize that we are, each one of us is a superhero, and each one of us has powers.
We all do.
So how did Tierra discover her superpowers? I know it may be a chain of events or whatever, but how did you, or let's go back before that, before you discovered, Tierra Ogle. I don't know what your superhero's name is. It could be Tierra, right? But when did you discover you had those powers? And talk a little bit about before that happened.
So
and remember, uncomfortably
honest,
close. Yeah, there you go.
I actually I never believed that I had a voice, to be honest.
Okay.
Out of everything that I've gone through, out of everything that I've been through, I was always misunderstood, and my voice was never loud enough, or it was too loud to the point where no one wanted to listen.
Sure.
So now, in my days, I have understood and realized that what I have gone through and what I am going through is something that people go through every day, but they are literally, they just tuck it away like it's just something that we are not allowed to speak about, like it's forbidden fruit. And I don't like that.
Sure.
So when I realized me being out there in public and talking to other people and just coming back and realizing of a conversation with this complete stranger and them telling me, this is how I feel in life and this is what I'm going through. And how much of a relatable conversation you can have with just a single person that feels the same way, of not going through the processes of seeking help in the right way, or, going through steps that they want us to go through. And if you know what I mean by they, you know what I mean.
Sure.
So I have always had the depth of wanting to be a clinical psychologist. I wanted to be a profilist for the FBI. And those dreams, they didn't get to come true. They didn't get to go through. So here I am. I found my purpose by being able to share the experiences that I've been through, because not only am I a medical textbook for the examples of these new jobs, new histories, new everything when it comes to the medical field itself, I've learned my only purpose not only is for me to teach younger people and to teach doctors how to save someone else's life so they do not have to go through what I've gone through, let alone my purpose in my life is to show other people what it feels like and what it is like to go through the challenges that I have been through since I was 15 years old that I can at least talk about.
Right. Do you remember when you realized that that was part of your purpose, to be able to share that? Do you remember, can you pinpoint
to the exact date?
Oh, wow. We want to hear about that.
My exact date of me pinpointing of when I was aware. I was a very spiritual person, but I told myself, I am not religious. No. You would never catch me in a church or talk about anything of that sort. And then here comes me in a health situation where I had no choice but to accept what was happening to me. And I realized that God gave me a purpose, not only for the textbook, medical-wise, for other people. But that day when I realized, and I've spoke about this in my very first episode of my podcast, about me losing my best friend. He was there with me every single day for 6 weeks straight for my surgery. Again, I did not believe in God. I was not in that type of situation at all. And yet I had people that were willing to give up everything that they had in their life to be by my side, to show me what it was like to be selfless, to not only give themselves to me, to give a part of what they learned from religion to myself. And since that moment, I've always said, I don't know what I want to be when I grow up. And I was 37 years old. I'm about to be 38. And I thought, there's something wrong with you when you go and think, hey, why can I be almost 38 years old and say, I don't know what I want to be when I grow up?
Yeah.
There's something wrong with that question.
You can be 55 and still have that question.
But
too.
Right now, I know what I want to be when I grow up.
That's great.
And it's exactly what you and I are doing right now.
Yeah.
Is talking about what I went through. Because what I went through and what somebody else is going through, I know that I can help them and guide them in the right direction.
Yeah.
In a way that no one has ever been able to guide
Absolutely.
me or direct me in a way.
Yeah.
Because I was forced to believe that everything, how do you say, when it's read to you through a Bible, it's the way that it should be done, versus what was actually taught to me was hide behind the words in the Bible.
Sure.
So therefore, now you understand why I
Yeah.
was not a religious person.
Well, if you think about it too, and if you go to the scripture, you can see that the enemy, even Christ's temptation, he used Scripture out of context to try and tempt Christ, and Christ just used the word
worked.
back in context. Yeah, we get tripped up. We get tripped up a lot. And this life actually is impossible. The life that we're called to in Christ is impossible for us to live without the Holy Spirit. If we don't have the Spirit of God living inside of us and surrounding us, there's no way we could understand the Word. I remember when I first read the Scripture after I had accepted Christ. Now, I knew Bible before I even knew that I could have a relationship with Jesus. Like, what is that? No pastor or preacher had ever told me that. And when I first said, Lord, I want you in my life, in tears, on my knees in my bedroom, after a horrendous experience where I went to hell in a drug trip, at that moment when I picked the Bible up, I actually understood the Word for the first time. It's amazing how it changed. So that's just amazing. I remember how you just said something about strangers and conversations you have with strangers. We were strangers when we met. I mean,
you
right,
literally
the first
walked
time,
in the store and were like, I want to podcast you.
At that time, we were on a high of first discovering why we were here in Puerto Rico. And I was like, well, I'm just going to start doing podcasts in Puerto Rico.
I meet kind of thing.
Yeah. So when I met you, I was like, okay, well, she's unique and interesting, and I know she has a story. And I didn't realize, I think perhaps without the episode we did with you, was the first time I realized, whoa, we can actually touch people deeply with just asking questions.
Right.
And I remember when you had tears in your eyes, tears started welling up in my eyes as you were telling your story. And I know you just kind of touched on it. You didn't go deep with it.
I didn't want to.
Because you didn't know us. You had no idea who we were. Who are these
But
people?
I knew what was below my surface.
Yeah, you did. And you shared some of it. And I know it touched others. So we're going to have the opportunity to do that more and more. I'm thankful that we get to be here doing this collaboration.
I agree.
Because you know what? There's one thing I love more than podcasting as a host. Mm-hmm. I love being a guest on podcasts.
I've been so excited for the first time. I mean, obviously I'm very new with this podcasting part. And like I said, that was part of the awakening of me saying, you know what, this is my journey. I need to share my testimony.
Yeah,
my pastor tells me,
no way.
I have never met anyone in my life that talks about God or religion or anything that remotely the way I am. Apparently I'm a rarity. And so when I realized that, I thought, well, holy crap. Not only am I a rarity when it comes to my medical, I'm a rarity when it comes to my devotion.
Sure.
And I didn't realize that there are things in people's lives that will put them at a stand halt, literally just stop them right in their place. And I can tell you 50 plus things that could have stopped me in my place, and they did. I promise you 100% they did. But when you are faced with certain challenges at a certain point in your life, you don't have a choice but to rise from literal ashes and to literally look at anyone straight in the face and say, screw you, I win, you don't win, I have the power, you don't. And that is when I realized that I will always be the voice for not only women, also for the men that are not able to speak up because they are shunned and put aside like their feelings mean nothing. And that's why I want to be an advocate, not only for the people, for me, like what my experiences, what I've been through, but I want to be an advocate for the world, for the people that have been misunderstood. We're the misfits. I am a misfit. And I am reaching out to all these misfits out there that have said, well, nobody understands me, nobody gets it, I am just alone. No, you're not alone. You're here, you're listening, you found this. I found you or you found me, whatever the case may be. And that's the point. And that is our purpose in life. And that is the thing that we have all lost contact with humanity, is understanding that we are supposed to teach human to human, that we, just because we went through something does not mean that defines us or makes us weak.
Yeah.
It actually makes us stronger and gives guidance to other people.
Yeah.
And that, we lose touch with that because we are in the matrix, in an
We do.
NPC.
So when you get unplugged, when you got unplugged, you can say, like I like to say, and that is welcome to the island of misfit toys. Don't be ashamed of, because you're different. Don't be
Right.
ashamed of the gifts that you have that you don't quite see in other people. You have those for a reason, and we're gonna help people out of that thinking, that line of thinking of I'm alone. No one understands what I'm going through.
Okay.
And then we can say,
Exactly.
wait a minute. Here's my story, and then you can see their eyes start to soften, and then they believe, well, I'm not the only one here.
Do you want to know how to change the world one day at a time?
Sure, why not?
People
Yeah.
actually don't understand this. And I'll give you one example. 3 days ago, I'm in a doctor's office.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting there. I had an appointment, supposed to be at 8 o'clock. First person that wasn't even seen until 10 o'clock. So I'm sitting there. Do you know how many elderly walked up to the building itself and that had help getting out of their car and
Sure.
let alone having help getting the door open?
Sure.
Do you know who helped that person? Me.
Sure.
Nobody else did.
Right.
Do you know how many times I did it? 5, 6, maybe 8 times.
Sure.
Because I was there for 8 hours.
Mm-hmm.
By the time it was the 6th time around, somebody in the older generation started to see what I was doing
Sure.
and realized,
And then they began to help.
oh, I'm going to move closer to this door because
Right.
this younger woman is younger than me, literally by half my age, and she
Right.
is opening a door
Yeah.
for a man that's 5 times bigger than her, carrying him in.
Right.
And what did that other people do that were the first patients? They went closer to the door so that
Sure.
I didn't walk up and help these people
Sure.
get out of their cars.
Sure.
That right there, that is a moment right there where I realize all it takes is live by example.
Yeah.
Open up the doors,
Sure.
let someone walk through it. Even if they appreciate it or not, I don't care.
Right.
I am making a
And
difference
then-
by showing
right.
someone else that this is what you're supposed to do in life.
Now you've got a new medium to do that, because you're going to be opening the doors for people
I
with
always
your
do.
podcast.
No matter what.
With your podcast, you're going to
Right.
be opening the door for people. That's great. Let's talk a little bit more about your podcast. Let's do
Okay,
that.
I mean, we can do that, yeah.
Yeah.
What do you want to know?
So below the surface.
Yeah. So, okay. Why I wanted it to be called the Below the Surface is, I walk out to the ocean and I realize when you're standing there looking at the ocean doesn't ask to break against something. It doesn't ask to run through tides and swift things up and make a sharp object into something so beautiful that somebody can literally pick it up off of the beach and make it into something so extraordinary that people will literally carry it with them for the rest of their lives, and knowing that it meant something, because every sharp object that we create from ourselves is buffed out into a beautiful piece of jewelry. We just have to allow ourselves to be that person. And I feel that we judge ourselves so much. Social media, other perspectives, just society, jobs, coworkers, friends, family, it doesn't matter what it is. You are put into this box. It's like you're automatically just guaranteed to just know how to navigate life. And that's the thing. My podcast is going to tell you exactly that. You can't just navigate through life blind. You're going to navigate it through hardships. You're going to navigate it through pain and sorrow and grief and love and excitement and joy and happiness, and all of that could be all at once, and all of it can also be one subject at a time. And that's the most important part about who and why I am becoming this safe place is because I know how heavy a backpack can be at the end of the day. And all I want is a safe place for somebody to be able to take their backpack off and set it down beside me and say, hey, can I sit beside you and listen or talk to you about what I'm going through in my life? Because that's the most important part. That's what's going on right now, is not enough people are sitting down saying, hey, tell me what you need. What can I do to make your life better?
Right.
Instead, they're making it worse.
Yeah, sure. And a lot of times, I know one thing I miss about my mom. Now, my mom passed away over 15 years ago. She was 60 years old, and she died of the same disease that my young sister, when she was 6 years old, died of. It was leukemia. And one thing is, trying to understand how painful it is for a parent to bury their children.
Right.
Another, I saw it as a cruel joke for a long time, and I was angry at God for taking my mom in the same way he took mine. But my mom could listen really, really good. She would listen so well. It was like I would keep talking and just kind of spilling my guts, and she would just nod her head and listen. She didn't try and solve any of my problems, but her listening solved
Just
problems.
being there in the pain with you mattered.
Yeah, so being able to be there and then have that every once in a while, you're able to interject. So what we get to do as podcasters, and I think more of us need to do even not as podcasters, because not everyone's going to have a podcast, but being able to listen and to being able to disciple those who have gone through similar situations you have, and you have that gentle offer of, I know you're going to do what you're going to do because you're your own person, but let me tell you what I experienced when I did it the wrong way. And then let me tell you what I experienced when I did it the right way. And we have that opportunity for them to kind of make up their mind as to which way they're going to go.
Exactly.
It's cool. I'm excited for you on your podcast journey. This is something that I love to do. I don't make any money doing this.
And I don't expect to make money either.
Right.
And that's the thing is, I know
if it happens, it happens.
Right. And my life and my testimony is literally, like I said earlier to you, before we were even on this podcast, before we were on camera, I told you my purpose in life is to make sure that I reach the people that have never been heard, that don't know how to reach out to somebody else. Because when they tried, they were told insecure, you're crazy, you're overthinking, you're this, all these things.
You're a dreamer.
And it's not fair, because this world, we have so much room. We should be able to dream. We should be able to hope. We should be able to cry. We should be able to laugh. And whatever we want to do, we should be able to do it. And they go, oh, land of the free and all this. No, sir. We don't have that freedom anymore. So when we have this podcast, not making any money, and instead we're just pouring our souls and our hearts out here, it's because we are living rich in our hearts.
Yeah, we're doing it because we love it.
Exactly. And that is why I don't care if I make a dime off this or not.
Yeah.
All I know is I will be forever living knowing that. Because with my health problems, and you all know this in my podcast, I have been going through a lot. And we all don't know our last day on this earth, but I definitely know that my time is cut very, very, very short. And so therefore, why I've reached even more further out with my podcast, because my time is very limited. And I want to reach all of the people out there that even when I'm no longer in this world, they can still go back onto my podcast and say, you know what? She got it. She knew what I was going through, and she didn't even have to be there, but she lived it. She told it. She sold it. All of it.
Right.
And that's the hardest part about all of this in life, is accepting and projecting.
Yeah, mortality. We hear, and more lately, I know this has been forever, when Jesus was here 2,000 years ago, he said that he was going to return soon.
Well, time to him
people,
could be...
People talk, well, yeah. I mean, he's above and outside of time, right? A day is like 1,000 years to the Lord, and 1,000 years a day. But the way that I look at that is, I don't necessarily look at, a lot of people are talking about end time stuff lately. It's just kind of become mainstream.
But the thing is just here in general, yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, each one of us, science has proven 10 out of 10 people die. Okay, I mean, it's kind of a joke, but it's not a joke. And we're going to meet him. It's going to be the end time for each of us at a certain time. When we pass, that's the end time. That's when we meet the Lord. So it's
your heaven is your heaven, the hell is your hell.
We don't
you
have
make it, you make it.
We don't have to kind of look and wait. We just have to live our life and live it to the fullest every minute we have, because none of us know when we're going to meet him. I grew up around church and things like that, but I don't consider myself a religious person. I just have a relationship, and because I'm excited about that, and I know that he has a plan for each one of us. I talk about him, because someone had to tell me about him, or I would not have known him. So that struggle that we each have with mortality, like you have, and knowing that as you say, it's kind of sooner than you had hoped. You're gonna juice every last minute that you have.
When I see a light, I see rainbows. I don't see a light.
Right,
when I see a human being, I see colors and love and kindness. Even though they could be the most evil person ever, I am trying to find the best part about them, because that is what we're supposed to do as humans. And we have lost that touch in humanity.
Oh yeah, we have.
We have.
Oh yeah, we have.
We've broken that trust within each other.
It's our nature. We have to try. We have to try. Well, that's cool. So another thing aside from origin stories, we really like to touch on, the kind of the what the fail of life. So I mean, you talk about this a lot. It's all throughout your podcast, the challenges that you had, and then how you are personally overcoming that, how you are personally using that thing to kind of be a platform. Can you think of any time in particular where, even if it was for a small moment in time in your life, where you used something as a springboard to kind of move you higher? Can you think of anything like that, maybe just kind of off the top of your head?
To be honest, that's what I was trying to say earlier, is I can't.
Right.
And even us talking about it, it's not coming to my head. Because, to be honest, every failure that I have done, I've come back tenfold.
See, that's exactly what we're talking about.
So when, I can go and say failure after failure after failure, but that's the thing, is I'm not going to get anything from that, and neither is that other person.
Yeah, sure.
Because in reality, I can't see failure anymore.
Right.
I can't. And even when I try to look past in my past of failures, I've already grown past that.
Sure.
So when you go and ask me what the fail, I don't have one right now.
No,
I
got
don't.
you.
Because I'm literally progressing past those failures.
Right.
I'm already grown past it.
Yeah.
And I can't pinpoint it. And that's why I am doing the podcast, is because I want everyone to feel that same exact way.
Sure.
I don't want them to think that they failed at something. I want them to know that they did something, learned by their choices, learned by their reactions, and learned by their own patience. We don't have patience sometimes. We also don't know how to react. Sometimes we just literally go by instinct, and that will literally destroy us and our relationships, whatever the relationship is, if we don't slow down, think before we speak, think before we react, and then move forward.
Sure.
So if there's anything I could say what I failed at, is because I didn't slow down enough to actually consider and listen to the person in front of me, to know that not every conversation is a failure. Not every argument is them wanting to leave. Not every disagreement is the end of the world. Instead, It is an open book for me to ask questions, to be curious, to build connection instead of confusion. And that is something I think we all need to focus on when it comes to each other, when it comes to a stranger meeting a stranger, when it comes to friends meeting up again. It doesn't matter who you are and what you are in a place in someone's life. What matters is your intentions of what you want that to be for you and your reactions throughout the case or whatever it
well, you're living it. You're living it because, an overcomer is somebody who will make mistakes and then push past that.
I'm very aware.
The proverb says a righteous person falls 7 times and gets up 8.
Right.
So that's that continual process of not giving up. When we only fail when we give up, when we quit life, so, and unfortunately we know some people that have done that where they just checked out. Thankfully, and understanding that, if we listen, if we have that heart of compassion, we can continue to reach out to those folks so that they'll learn that they can kind of push past, look, I forgive you. It goes a long way.
And you also can be forgiven.
Right.
And just because you
yourself.
make a mistake does not mean that you can't redo it.
Right. Absolutely.
And that's the thing, is people think that you can just, you mess up one time and it's the end of the world. No,
it's not. Learn from it.
It's not.
Yeah.
You learn from it, and just because that person is no longer in your life, it does not mean that you cannot take the next person that comes in your life with grace and with gratitude and with acceptance and knowing that what you are doing is because of things that you've learned, and vice versa. We don't come into any relationship, friendship, familyship, whatever it is. We go into it with a very heavy heart.
Sure.
Past, present, in the moment, whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. And we're all so selfish yet selfless at the same time that we forget about the actual human connection, conversation that we're missing.
Right.
Because they're afraid. Mm-hmm. They think that if we have that conversation, they're never going to want to talk to us again. They're never going to want to have anything further to do with that. And you know how I know this? From personal experience.
Sure.
Because I told somebody first, right out the gate, boom, this is who I am. Accept me or don't.
Right.
And you know what? Most of the time, they won't.
Sure.
Because my life is too much.
Right.
But for me, my life is giving all of you all something to compare it to, so that you know that there is somebody else out there that not only has gone through it worse, I don't know if it's worse, but to me, on my pain level and versus your pain level, it could be completely different levels.
Right.
But I know what I've been through, I can help somebody else go through the same thing, but I can help you go through it in a lesser way to where you are not self-destructive and you can actually look at yourself with pride instead of disgust.
Sure. And you said a word earlier, and that was fear. And fear is something that'll stop us in our tracks. Fear is a liar. Fear is a liar. So don't listen to that thing. Don't listen to that thing because it's going to stop you. It'll stop you even pursuing your dreams.
Oh, beyond.
And the fact is, many times, and it's a shame that our culture, many of our cultures, are connected. When you meet somebody for the first time, you ask them, "What do you do?" That's not who they are.
Right.
Just because they work construction or they do this or that. That's not who they are. So we should really ask, maybe the question, who are you? Instead of what do you do? Who are you? Who do you want to be?
That's actually one of the last podcasts that I did was, are you insecure?
Right. Right.
Those words right there, when someone goes and says, well, are you insecure, or is it just that you're overthinking? No. What you just said right there is exactly what every one of us go through every single day, and not one person can actually say, maybe, but I know from experience, every person that I have spoke to, they have told me that they have not been heard the way that they have wanted or perceived themselves to be heard, because no one will actually, they hear only the words that they want to hear.
Right.
And it pushes the actual person's feelings aside and down, and that person realizes it and they say, you know what? It's not worth it.
Yeah, we all do this a little
Not
bit more.
doing it again.
A little bit more than we should. We definitely all do this a little bit more than we should. Is we're listening for our turn to speak
And that's not fair.
instead of hearing. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Well, Tierra, tell us a little bit more about your podcast and where you want it to go, where you see the direction of your podcast going in the future.
Well, I'll just start with this. When I was about 15, I actually wanted to be a clinical psychologist because I wanted to help the younger women, the younger girls. I wanted to help them because no one ever helped me. They never gave me the opportunity to tell my story. They just guessed it.
Right.
And I realized that I wasn't able to be that person for those women because I couldn't get over my own tragedies and abuse in my life.
Right.
And I've been battling that for a very long time of my life, figuring out where I belonged, what needed to be spoke about, what was even worth my voice, because deep down, like you said, most people actually just wait for their time or their voice to be heard.
Right.
And we all do. Don't get me wrong. We all want to be heard. But when somebody goes and says, hey, tell me about you. Well, let me tell you about me. Don't interrupt me.
Right.
And that's the thing is people will go and ask the question, but they won't actually hear you. And that's the unfairness about it.
Sure.
So that's the false hope that we are given, that someone's actually going to be there to listen to us when, where are they?
Right.
In the end of the conversation, where are they? Nowhere. We're actually alone. The person that went out of our way to be vulnerable, to ask for help, to show that we are being hurt and can you please understand why it's hurting me, we're actually left in the freaking dust, wondering why and what we did wrong because we reached out saying that this is how we feel. And we are so caught up in this matrix of a world that we are so asleep that we forget that when you walk past somebody, just one smile. Do you know what one smile could do for one person? I could sit here and walk through the day and thinking that I want to kill myself and drive myself into complete dead-on traffic. But one smile from one complete stranger can look at me and boom, that complete, it's gone out of my head. Never even thought about it again the rest of the day. And people don't get it. That energy alone, that projection, that energy transfer, that giving, that vulnerability to somebody else, because that smile from a stranger is vulnerability. So that's me doing what I'm doing right now, is being vulnerable, sharing my story, going above and beyond to make sure that you are not alone. Male, female, doesn't matter what you are, who you are, what you've been through. I promise you, I've been through it all. I know it. And
what does that smile actually cost you?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
A millisecond.
When I go and
time.
see that I've had 16 hours play on one episode of mine, knowing that I only have 6 people following me, that means that one person listened to that episode more than once.
Right.
To me, that means I said something that resonated with them, and not only resonated with them, that obviously they're taking it into where they want to maybe share it with somebody else or learn something to where they can express it in a way that they've never been able to express it themselves because they didn't know how to or know the words alone, let alone to know that there are women, men, people, doesn't matter, somebody feeling the same exact way out there. And then some.
Yeah, most
but
definitely.
We're going to be more, I I don't beat around a bush in my
Yeah,
podcast.
no doubt.
I'm going to tell you exactly the way it is. And I think that's what's going to bring people to me in general, is knowing that I'm not going to sugarcoat it.
Right.
You're going to come to me and you're going to get the hard truth. You're going to get every wave. You're going to get every sand in your underwear making pearls. You're going to get all of it.
Sand in the happy place. So people are going to want to follow you. They're going to want to hear more. They're going to want to hear the first episode and beyond. So how can people connect with you? What is the full name of the podcast, and how can people connect with you best?
It's called Below the Surface by Tierra Ogle, and it is Tierra as in, if people are confused by the name, it's Tierra as in tierra, as in land, earth in Spanish. That's the way it's spelt. And you'll know it's me because you'll see the cover photo, me personally. It's a real photo of me under the water holding my breath, because I am a certified mermaid, and I am obviously
Mermaids
I'm a Divemaster. Yes. And so with that, It's very strange, actually, where I am right now versus where I was 4 years ago. And it's kind of very strange and where I am now versus when you first did your podcast with me.
Yeah, it's neat to see the difference. It's neat to see the difference.
Versus then versus now, oh my Lord.
You didn't smile as much back then.
No. I have learned how to take my loneliness and my pain and turn it into a happy Tierra.
Cool.
Learn how to accept what has been given to me instead of being angry at what was given to me, because all my life I was told, oh, he can never and will never give you nothing that you can't handle. Well, I never asked for this battle, and I never asked for any of this.
Right.
But I'm alive.
You are.
And I'm still fighting. And if anyone that's listening to this that knows me and my health, and they know how hard I have been fighting and how hard I have been battling, and it has been one hell of a battle. And that is another reason why I'm on this podcast, is because I want other people to know that health does not define you, and yet it makes you alive. Just because someone tells you that you're going to die in 6 months does not mean that you have no choice to live. Instead, you have every choice to grow beyond that and live more, and to accept more, and to take more, and to grow, and to give and give and give. And also be selfish and selfless at the same time. And that's what we need to understand in life, is those two things right there can actually be coexistent and be friends.
Yeah.
And know that we can do that together.
How can you love others if you don't love yourself?
You can't.
You can't give what you don't have.
No,
Yeah.
I learned that the hard way.
So people can follow your podcast and follow you and your story on Spotify?
So yeah, it'll be through Spotify, yes. That's going to be my main goal for right now.
Okay.
So
and
yeah,
coming soon, YouTube channel.
Yeah, it'll be YouTube, social medias, but for right now, my main focus is through Spotify. I just know that is going to be my main target reach.
All right.
And
cool.
when it comes to the younger generation,
Sure.
I'll hit different social medias.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, there's lots of young ladies in a dark place called TikTok that need to hear your story. So
Exactly.
we'll work on that as well. Well, as you can hear in the background, we've got karaoke,
Karaoke!
that I think we might even join here in a little while and sing some B-52s or something like that. But anyways, Tierra, it's been really, really cool hanging with you. Great to know you. And
great to know
I
you as
cannot
well.
wait to hear more.
Yeah.
And to get the word out there and to touch more people and to free more people with our stories. It says testimony, but it's by your story that we will overcome. So other people will overcome their struggles because of sharing your story.
Right. And if anyone knows this line, when it comes to being a movie geek, I know that I've touched these children's lives, and I know that they have touched mine too.
Nah.
Rock of Ages!
No, come on. Come on. We've got a lot. We could go on forever with movie
I'm
quotes.
just saying.
We could.
You said it first.
I did.
I just want everyone to know that when you come to me, you're in a safe place, safe space. You never have to worry about judgment or being afraid or... I mean, I'm the one giving my story, so you're the one listening. Right. I just want somebody to know that they're just not alone anymore. Because for about 30 years of my life, I thought I was. And so I started speaking aloud. And I am no longer alone.
Very cool.
So that's that.
Good. Tierra, great to know you. And we can't wait to hear more and get to know you more.
Of course. Vice versa.
Cool. Very good. All right.
Great.
Cool. Let's go do some karaoke.
Yeah!